Heute bei Jugendstil. Rap vs. Pop ist wieder da und dieses Mal nehmen sich Lula und Alfonso das Album Mad Villainy vor. Dann Cannabis auf Rezept. Wir haben auf der Demo nachgefragt, was die Leute bewegt. Und bei Inside the Movies mystisch packende Literaturverfilmung. Dimitri und Emma analysieren Master and Margarita. Diese Folge wird teuflisch gut.
Herzlich willkommen zu Jugendstil. Man kann so sagen, heute geht es bei Jugendstil um die schönsten Orte Magdeburgs. Wir befinden uns gerade an den Elbtreppen, auch einer meiner Lieblingsorte. Moment mal, ey, das ist doch Pepe, Pepe. Was hörst du denn?
All Caps von MF Doom, also aus Mad Villainy.
Don't talk about my mom, Joe. Sometimes you rhyme quick, sometimes you rhyme slow, or vice versa. Whip up a slice of nice verse pie, hit it on the first try.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Tracks. Very special episode because today I'm here as a guest and I'm really happy to be here. It's such an honor, so thank you for having me. I'm Lula, one of the co-founders of the show. You can tell Jesus that the beach is back. So Alfonso, tell us, what are we doing today?
So this is the second round of Rap versus Pop, where Pepe recommends me cool hip-hop albums and I recommend him iconic pop and indie albums. In the previous round we had Kendrick Lamar versus Lorde. This is the third episode and I of course needed to have Lula with me because we're both hardcore pop fans.
For sure.
So Pepe, please tell the audience, which album are we reviewing today?
Today we want to talk about Mad Villainy by Mad Villain, but who is even Mad Villain? Mad Villain actually is not a person, it's two people. One, Madlib, the producer, and two, MF Doom, the rapper of the album.
Okay.
I think the cover is really iconic. So before listening to the album, I just came up with this idea or perception that it is the 1989 of hip-hop or rap. In the way of the Bible for the hip-hop guys.
Yeah, okay. I had quite a big first impression. I really liked the artistic direction of it. I found it really cool. Very different to Good Kid, Mad City. Instead of a big production, it's like a low-budget production, but still so cool. Like, it was so cohesive. I liked his voice. It's more serious, not that goofy as opposed to Kendrick.
Know who's the illest ever, like the greatest story told. Keep your glory, gold and glitter. For half of his niggas to take him out the picture.
Also, I found no hooks, so it was hard for me to tell the songs apart, and it kind of meshed into a giant 46
I feel the same, yeah,
minute song.
I could really immerse myself into the vibe, so I was just chilling, even moving my head like this, you know. It didn't feel like an album, and I really like it.
And now, we wanted to talk about what we liked and what we didn't. In my case, I have a lot of pros. First, I think he has such a big brain for as a poet. Like, he's a poet. Like, all the literary devices, this is like a masterclass. All the metaphors and the alliteration, like the repetition of consonants, he plays with it and he makes it obvious. Also, I found the fact that Madlib, with the samples, he takes a sentence from here and a word from here to make the narrator say what he wants him to say. Like, the narrator even says Mad Villain at one point, which of course he couldn't have.
Of course, one of the worst of all was Mad Villain.
It's really cool that it was a successful album given the budget. Like, it was produced at a bunker, right?
A bunker?
Like un bunker de guerra.
Oh,
like
yeah. He had not a whole studio. He was sitting on his bed with
Crazy.
a turntable and two other things and was producing these crazy songs with us. And also, another thing, to the commercial aspect, Doom said himself in an interview once, he only liked hip-hop for the money. Because, he had a family, problems with different kids of his. He doesn't see himself as a rapper. He sees himself as a poet that plays with words and it's like training for his brain. He's just not how the others are.
He's just not like the other girls.
Yeah. And Madlib is the complete opposite. Madlib was a kid who grew up with hip hop, but then he felt like, oh no, I'm not listening to this anymore. Then he started to do like jazz, soul, funk and stuff. But through MF Doom, which was one of his dream collabs, he started to do hip hop again and then involved all those different genres he listened to previously to make it into one big hip hop beat.
Yeah, you can definitely see the fusion. That's very cool. I really like his storytelling about his experiences with big labels, and also the leak of the album. It's like an album that talks about itself.
At some point, I think they were making fun of the music business. Like, I think they were just doing the hell they wanted. And my last good point is I really like the cinematicity of the album. The first song, I remember, it felt like I was listening to the beginning of a Billions film.
Yeah. The instrumentals were very dramatic with the strings and the orchestra sometimes and whatnot. But now it's time to talk about what we didn't like so much about this. First, I felt like the songs didn't give each other time to breathe. Like they just went one after another and I was like, okay, give me a second. Also, when they had transitions, it was mostly only fade-ins and fade-outs. And I get that maybe if they were samples, that was the only way to do it, but I would have liked some more creative or elaborate approach. Also, my main issue is that you have around 15 songs about how great he is and how many girls he gets.
I kind of agree on that. I think it was on track number 9 called Curls, which was, I think it was my least favorite. It begins with, I'm going to read it out loud, land of makes and money with the swirls, where reckless naked girls get necklace of pearls. Maybe I'm a girl and I don't get it, but I think it was really disrespectful to women in general.
I have to agree with you, there is a lot of being talked about women and sex and stuff, but when he's talking about this, 99% of the time he's in his character Victor Vaughn, which is the young, dumb MF Doom. I mean, it's still sad, obviously, what's said is sad, but it might give you a different perspective on how it's
that much. Yeah. Okay.
I had a couple more thoughts. Madlib is so talented, he could have exploited his production skills a bit more for this album. The album definitely shines more when they do give some life to the production, and it feels lively, it feels like there's an evolution of it throughout the song and not just the loop. Yeah.
I got one more. The short songs kept me begging for more. You know, it's like, it's already finished. Like, what else? You know, please continue. Yeah.
I think I know why, because in the album there are no real hooks. Normally a hook like 20 seconds long, and when you have 2 hooks in a song, already 40 seconds more. So that's why the songs are a bit shorter, I think.
Yeah, okay. I think it's time for question round.
Okay. I'm scared.
Just personally speaking, how much of it do you think it is from a perspective of a character? Because to me, most of it seemed pretty close to him.
I think his perspective on life and his views and his story is like 60% of the album, probably.
Okay. Before the final rating, the final score, I wanted to mention a couple songs I found extremely funny, like Fancy Clown, which is from the perspective of Victor, talking about how his girlfriend cheated on him with MF Doom, which is also himself.
Yeah.
It's like, how the fuck did you come up with that?
I mean, I found that really amazing.
Yes.
It's like he just won the game, you know. My favorite track was America's Most Blunted, for No One's Surprise.
Really?
Yeah.
America's Most Blunted is definitely one of the best songs on the
It
album,
is.
100%.
It sounds funny. Like I had a lot of fun while listening.
Yeah.
So remember,
M-A-R-I-J-U, A-J-U-A-N-A. Marijuana. Marijuana.
What do you think about the second song on the album? I think it is Accordion.
I liked it. I wrote down the lyrics are a bit narcissistic, but oh well.
Oh well.
That was kind of what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, you got there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's time for the final score.
I think the album needs to still grow up with me, but for now I will give it a 73 out of.
Well, that's so high.
Yeah, it is, because actually I had fun, even though it gave me a true nostalgia. I really appreciate these albums that transfers me into my childhood.
Okay, my score is not so entertaining. It is 5.2.
Oh, last episode you had 5.3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better. It's
Yeah.
getting better.
No, it's not.
No, it's getting worse.
Ah, it's getting worse. Oh my god.
It's just not an album I can relate to that much, but I really love the genre. I like the genre, which is the point of this series.
Yeah.
So, watch out for the next episodes of Behind the Tracks and also enjoy the rest of the Jugendstil episode. Bye bye.
Bye.
Wir sind heute beim GMM in den Klostergärten in Magdeburg. Seit mittlerweile gut einem Jahr ist das Gras ja jetzt legal. Wir wollen mal gucken, was die Leute, die auch wirklich aktiv konsumieren, so davon halten, wie es läuft. Viel Spaß! Guten Tag. Wofür steht der GMM denn?
Der Global Marijuana March ist eine internationale Veranstaltung, die sich halt eben damit auseinandersetzt, halt, dass überall auf der Welt halt mehr Menschen kriminalisiert werden wegen des Konsums von Cannabis. Und wir setzen uns halt eben ein, dass diese Minderheit halt eben auch ihr Recht wahrnehmen kann und erwachsen damit umgehen kann. Ja.
Jetzt seit einem Jahr ist Gras legal. Was sagst du, wie ist das Gefühl? Hat sich was verändert?
Also um ehrlich zu sein, bin ich jetzt nicht unbedingt die Person, die da komplett jeden Tag was damit zu tun hat.
Bei Cappy sagt er was anderes.
Das stimmt. Ich rauche auch Zigaretten, eher. Aber gelegentlich auch den Joint und ich finde es eigentlich auch das Richtige und ich bin sehr, sehr happy, dass irgendwie kein Gefühl zu haben, dass das irgendwas ist, das gegen ein Gesetz verstößen soll. Und ich finde, das ist auch den richtigen Weg gesellschaftlich.
Wo holt man jetzt eigentlich sein Gras her? Immer noch beim Dealer, selbst angebaut oder vom Doktor?
Die offiziellen Wege sind natürlich entweder per Apotheke auf Rezept oder halt eben Selbstanbau oder Mitglied eines Social Clubs sein.
Was ist ein Social Club?
Also ein Cannabis Social Club, genau, ist eine Vereinsstruktur, da kann man sich bewerben. Dann muss man auch selber auch, sag ich mal, mithelfen. Das heißt, beim Anbau mithelfen, schnippeln oder so, dass man seinen Beitrag leistet. Und es ist auch so geregelt, dass man auch Geld zahlt jeden Monat, wodurch man dann jeden Monat ein bisschen mitbekommt. So.
Da hat ja CDU und CSU ja immer so große Angst, dass das Volk jetzt so verdummt wird. Ich würde sagen, heute beweisen wir mal das Gegenteil. Ich stelle mir ein paar einfache Fragen, du zeigst mir, dass du richtig was auf dem Kasten hast.
Alles klar, mal gucken, was kommt.
Okay, wir fangen mal ganz leicht an. 3 Flüsse in Frankreich.
Le Rhône, Le Saône und der Seine.
Hey, sehr gut. Du hast ja hier einen Stand. Was machst du denn heute hier?
Es ist nicht mein Stand, aber ich bin auch Mitglied des THVs aus Halle.
Na komm, machen wir direkt so weiter. Machen wir 3 Länder in Südostasien?
Thailand, Laos und Vietnam.
CDU, CSU, ihr wisst Bescheid, ne? Auch die kiffende Bevölkerung kann allgemein wissen.
Ich würde sagen, das ist definitiv einer meiner finalen Lieblingsorte.
Safe.
Die Elbschaukel unter der Hubbrücke. Da ist ein Stadtpark, da ist ein Dom, die Elbe. Einfach wunderschön.
Das passt wirklich wie die Faust aufs Auge, ey. Richtig geil.
Gutes Stichwort eigentlich, muss ich gerade an die Schulzeit denken. Das Buch Faust, musstet ihr das auch lesen?
Ja, leider schon.
Gab es ja auch so einen Film von. Und was ich neulich gelernt habe, es gibt auch so ein russisches Buch, Master in Margarita. was auch verfilmt wurde, war mir komplett neu. Und Emma und Dimitri haben sich bei unserer neuesten Ausgabe Inside the Movies damit mal auseinandergesetzt.
Okay.
Hi!
Oh, Emma, hello.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, me too.
What are you working on?
I'm thinking about the new episode of Inside the Movies. I need something, you know, special, особенное, how we call it in Russian.
Oh, Russian. I've recently saw this movie in the cinema, Master and Margaret.
Ah, this is adaptation of very great book of Mikhail Bulgakov. This is important part of our culture, no? Yeah.
So we could do the Inside the Movies about it.
You know, I'm waiting for the answer from the job center about my Bürgergeld, and I don't want to do now the episode about the Russian film. It could be not very good, yeah, from my perspective.
But if you would do the Inside the Movies, how would you start?
I would start from some historical background. So, this movie is kind of adaptation of a famous book of Mikhail Bulgakov, which he started to work on in 1930. Bulgakov was born in a Russian Empire and had first education as a doctor. After that, in 1921, he went to Moscow and started his career as an author. And he was very popular author, but during his career he had a lot of problems with his works because Soviet Union government didn't give him a chance to make his places in the theater. But he also had some direct communication with Stalin, and in some moments Stalin helped him, but in another way the Soviet Union structure looked at him like on a reactionary author. Bulgakov didn't really finish the book Master and Margarita. It was made by some parts after his death and was published only in the 60s after the Stalin's death, in time of weak censorship in the Soviet Union.
That's actually really interesting what you just said about Bulgakov, because I read something about Lokshin, the director. He has a bit of a similar story because his family first emigrated to America, but then they came back, and like his dad became a professor at a really prestigious university, so they kind of became like this image of this family that like returns to, I don't know, Russian values, whatever. So he studied in Moscow at a film university, and the movie got funded by half of the movie got funded by Russian money. So there's like a whole controversy about it, if you should even watch it or not. But he like has since spoken out against the war, right as it happened, and now he's blacklisted. But the movie is actually still very popular. So, yeah, we also have these both sides. Now we talked a lot about like the whole surrounding aspects and the history.
Oh well, I like history, but what is your vision of our show?
About our show, I mean, I guess we should first think about our image.
Well, I feel like something missing.
I feel like something is missing in all of us.
Honestly speaking, Emma, it seems to me it is too radical.
Yeah, but you remember the circus scene? I feel like it plays a very crucial role to show how the Soviet society functioned.
Yeah, but I would start to speak about the film in a little bit another way. So what I really like in this film is the specific and how they did the Moscow. This is not real Moscow.
So it's kind of like anachronistic in a way?
Yes, but this Moscow have never exist. It was made by some project from the Soviet Union times. It's more like Soviet leaders saw the Soviet Union and Moscow in the future.
And CGI was used for it,
Yeah.
but they also use it like for the cat.
Yeah, Cat was nice. Yeah, but honestly speaking, Cat was a really comedy character in the book, and generally it was not enough for me in the film because the book is really funny, and this is Bulgakov is a great humorist author, and it was some kind of satire about the Soviet Union society. But how do you feel about this film?
I watched it 2 times actually, and the first time I saw it, I was thinking about all the messages about the regime, like even how you could project it onto like today's Russia. And then when I watched it the second time, I was like way more focused about how it could be read like for the propaganda. Also like the figure of Margarita. So it's very interesting because she kind of takes like this idea of women being witches, which is also like kind of put on her by the master. Like they talk together about it, and he also like tells her this fantasy about seeing her naked flying above the city. So it's very strongly pushes the male gaze, but at the same time she takes it and she kind of like subverts it into something positive. But then there's still this power dynamic, and it's also like there's one blonde woman who's also the actress, also kind of reminds me of the Me Too movement, because she's trying really hard to like get into the acting business, but she can't do it out of her own will. And then in the like when the same actress then plays this part of the inner circle of the underworld, she's like licking Volan's feet. Even in hell, even where Margarita is this strong witch, there's still this very patriarchal structure.
Yeah, but Margarita is hot. Come on.
You didn't just say that. I will be right back.
Yeah. Поищи. Yeah. What is it?
It's your burger, guys.
My suffering is over. Emma, have you ever felt that we're just a part of one big episode of Inside the Movies?
Shut up and take your money.
Whoa. Stop. This is enough for today.
It really is. So, this was Inside the Movies. Don't forget to comment and like. And see you next episode.
Whoa. Ah, this is from my job center.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you get approved?
No, I was cancelled. But now we could do the Inside the Movies about Master and Margarita. See you.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name. But what's puzzling you is the nature of my game. Stuck around St. Petersburg when I saw it was a time for change.
Tim, guck dir das mal an. Das ist mein persönlicher Lieblingsort Magdeburg. Also.
Verarschen. Das ist ja komplett Standard. Hier geht jeder Tourist hin, Pepe.
Tim, Hundertwasserhaus. Gebaut von Friedrich Hundertwasser. Jahre 2005, auch genannt Grüne Zitadelle.
Pepe, das interessiert absolut keine Sau. Ich würde sagen, das war Jugendstil für heute. Wir sehen uns das nächste Mal. Bis dann. Tschüss.
So ein Penner, ey.